Hey PMC, it's Lauren here. I am back with vocal video number 2. If you watched the previous video, number 1, we talked about breathing and stretching. And as you know, I'm doing a series of videos that will hopefully help you establish a new routine that you can do at home to keep your voice healthy, to keep working on developing good, healthy singing habits. So today's video is about jaw position, these jaw muscles, and phonation. Phonation obviously is the production of sound, the use of vibrations in your vocal cords to produce sound. We are not going to do anything with specific pitch. So you don't need a keyboard, you don't need anything like that. These are just exercises to do in this routine that we're trying to establish for healthy daily vocal maintenance. So when I say jaw position, the reason I bring this up is because one of the major contributors to vocal fatigue and vocal issues is jaw tension. It's something that happens to almost every singer, even the ones who have lots of experience and lots of really good healthy technique. It just happens. We've got really strong muscles across here. You know, our mouth is designed to chew and crush things. So let's start by giving ourselves a little jaw massage. Just, gentle rub here, right on this hinge. And then you can move across this whole, the line where your hair and your ears meet your face. Just little rubs here. You can go all the way along the bottom. And we're just drawing awareness to this part of our body. And again, this is a part of our body that absorbs and builds up a lot of tension and can get very tight. So let's open and close our mouths now. There's no hurry. And then open as wide as you can and stretch your whole face. And let's do that again. And then move your jaw side to side if you're able. And then forwards and backwards. Obviously, if you have any sort of jaw issues, then you monitor your own body and do what you can and skip the things you can't. So let's get one more little massage moment for our cheeks here. So all these muscles here, believe it or not, are involved in singing. Now that we've drawn attention to this jaw part, take your finger and from this hinge right here, draw a line down the side of your neck, all the way to your collarbone. This is another line of tension that singers deal with a lot. And you can see how these muscles come all the way down here, and again on the other side too, down here out to your collarbone. All of this can turn into one tight, tense ball. And then that just makes singing feel incredibly tight and uncomfortable, and singing becomes a struggle. And of course, we want to develop all these good, healthy vocal habits so that our technique becomes the means of an artistic expression. The end goal is being able to just sing beautifully and express yourself through song and not think about technique because you've already set the groundwork. So that's why we got to get all this in place. Roll your head a little bit, side to side, forward, and then see if you can find, like, I call it a bobblehead position. Just bobble, bobble, bobble. This is home plate. Let's call it home plate. Bobblehead, loose up here. We've had some movement in the jaw, so we know it's not tight. We're not gripping with our jaw. Take a deep breath. Find the yawn space back here, teeth apart, soft palate lifted, and then small hums to yourself. Grow your neck long. You don't have to go super high. You don't have to go super low. This isn't about trying to make the breath last a long time. This is simply humming, getting everything vibrating. Experiment with what feels good to you. But every time you do a hum, check back. Are you still at home plate? Have you suddenly noticed a tightness in your jaw? If so, do the same hum you just did and either rub your jaw while you do it or move your jaw while you do it. Till eventually your body learns that the act of creating sound here does not mean gripping here. We're trying to separate those two things. If you're someone who feels like you have a lot of jaw tension, this is what you need to focus on in your daily exercises. And this might be enough for you for a while. If you find that this feels good, nice and loose, I can hum, I don't feel tight, my tongue doesn't feel tight, then you can try the open mouth hum. The open mouth hum is when instead of raising your soft palate in the back, you lower it. And so your soft palate and your tongue are touching as though you're saying the end of the word sing. It just helps you experience phonation and vibrations differently. But it's still all lots of vibrations up here. We're getting this warmed up and we're checking in with the jaw. If that all feels good, then let's move on to liquid consonants. Liquid consonants are consonant sounds that we can sustain, like the L sound. I find L to be my least favorite one for vocal exercises because it makes your tongue feel kind of fat and awkward. So instead, I like M's. And what's good about these liquid consonant exercises, or I don't even know if we should call them exercise, hums, is that you're using sounds that you will use while singing. And so again, we're trying to train the body to separate this feeling, this action of phonating and making sound from tension here. I think once you move to these consonants, you may find the instinct to grip with the jaw, especially if it's a habit that you have. So M's, you can try L's. L is good if you're concerned about tongue tension. You can pronounce an L without having tension in your tongue. If you feel like you're pressing that tongue forward, you'll know right away. N's, also good. You can also do consonants like the letter V. I find that really tickles my lips. So it's not something I like to do for a long time. But again, it can be a good exercise. It also gives you a little extra pressure. And pressure is not a bad word when it comes to singing. Without pressure, we have no sound. But again, we're trying to find the difference between pressure and tension. Those aren't the same thing. And very often when we put pressure in one part of the body, it causes tension in another. And right now, as I said earlier, we're thinking about this jaw tension because that is the number one singer ailment for having trouble or feeling like, singing is just a real struggle. So focus on that jaw right here. Pick your liquid consonant. Explore your range. You can do big sirens, big loops. You can do little ones like we did with the hums. That sounds kind of like a drill at the dentist. Anyways, you can customize which one you like the most. I'm sure everybody sort of has a preference. And like I said, V is good for me for short amounts, but then it makes my lips tickle. But the one common thing here, aside from keeping your jaw loose, the other thing I want you to remember is that all of these, except for the open mouth hum, that NG, all of them have this beautiful yawn space in the back of your mouth. Again, that's something we want to work on, being home base. Always beautiful space here. Teeth are apart. There's still that same space. I still have a bobblehead. If all of that feels good and your voice feels like, oh, great, okay, then the last thing I would put on this list are lip trills. Lip trills is when you vibrate your lips together by blowing extra air. Some people come to this really naturally. Some people have a lot of trouble with it. If you find that you have trouble getting your lips to start vibrating at all, if you put one finger on either side of your lips, it's kind of like little support beams here. It helps focus. And if you find that you're having trouble sustaining the vibrating lips, that has to do with your breath. So lip trills are good for a lot of different reasons. Even without pitch, they can help you figure out if you've got an issue with breath pressure. But once you add pitch in, they start accomplishing the same things that those other phonation exercises were doing for you as well. But because they involve the lips specifically, it's another thing that might trigger jaw tension. So all these are kind of tests to see, can I get through this without gripping and holding in my jaw? Now, obviously you can't wiggle your jaw while you're doing this or your lips will stop vibrating. But every time you do a lip trill, you can do this to make sure that these muscles are loose, or you just check in after. But it's always about assessing internally. Make an assessment. How does my voice feel? How does my body feel? And while you're doing these exercises, think about those things that I mentioned. Am I maintaining a good yawn space here? Do I have a nice bobblehead position here? Have I taken a good breath? Is my jaw nice and loose? Those are the things to think about. And these exercises are good for that because you don't have to worry about rhythm. You don't have to worry about pitch. So they give your voice a chance to make some sound while you're taking this overall time to assess. Do I have all my moving parts in place to ensure my success, ensure that my experience singing is going to be one that helps me reach my artistic goal, as opposed to climbing, struggling uphill because it feels hard. So I think that covers everything on my agenda, on my list for phonation and jaw tension. And I hope this was helpful. I hope everybody is doing well. And vocal video number 3 will be coming soon. Take care.